Hello, my name is Kimjia. 안녕하세요, 김지아입니다. This video is all about how to apply for the South Korean working visa and documents that are required for the South Korean working visa application. My friend work visa was approved last month, so I just want to share with you guys all the details, the document that was required, and everything you have to know if you're applying for the South Korean working visa so that your visa will be approved. Most importantly, you have to know this. There are different Korean working visa. There is the short-term employment, which is a C4 work visa. These are for those that will be working in South Korea for less than 3 months. We have the self-employment visa, which is the D8 to 4 work visa. These are for those that want to start a business. If you want to start a business in South Korea or you want to invest in a Korean company, then you should apply for this visa. We have the professional job visa. These are the E7 work visas. These are for those that have accredited qualification. If you have qualification on a specific field, then this is the visa you will be applying for. We have the D10 to 1 visa, which are for job seekers. If you're looking for a job in South Korea, this is the visa you will be applying for. We have the E6 to 1 visa, which is for artists. If you are in the entertainment industry, you're an actor, an actress, whatever you are in the entertainment industry, this is the visa you will be applying for. And lastly, we have the unprofessional job visa, which are the E9 work visa. If you're applying for the E9 work visa, trust me, you won't spend a day unemployed in South Korea. And you don't have to worry if you know Korean language or not. It is generally accepted that you can arrive in South Korea without no Korean language. It does not really require you that you have to know Korean language or you have to have certificate of Korean language certificate. It's not really necessary. But I think it is advisable for you to know at least basic Korean language if you want to work in South Korea. So for the E9 work visa, we have the E9 to 1 work visa, which are for manufacturing. If you have been employed in any manufacturing company, this is the visa you will be applying for. We have the E9 to 2 work visa, which is for construction. If you're employed in any construction company, this is the visa you will be applying for, the E9 to 2 work visa. We have the E9 to 3 visa, which is for agriculture, livestock. If you're into agriculture, this is the visa you will be applying for. There are 2 main types of foreign workers being brought into South Korea. The first one is a foreign migrant worker, which is under the Employment Permit System, EPS, for such industry as manufacturing, construction, agriculture, fishing, factory. They are all E9 work visas. The second is the foreign profession employee, which is a E1 to E7 work visa. These are people who have specific knowledge, such as foreign language instructor, teacher, English language teacher, native language teacher. We have doctor, we have lawyers, and so others. Aside the common requirements for all visa application, like the international passport, the visa application form, the proof of accommodation, flight booking, there are additional qualifications for every visa application. In this video, I will be talking about the E9 work visa requirements because that is the visa, the work visa most people applied for. In the next video, I'll be talking about the E1 to E7 work visa document required. So please do check out the next video I will be posting. So if you're new to this channel, you're welcome to the Korean family, and if you're returning subscribers, you're also welcome. As you can see, we create helpful, informative, and educative Korean content. So if you find this channel helpful to you, please do click the red subscribe button, like and share this video. Alright guys, let's get right into 2 things I want you to understand if you want to apply for the Korean working visa. Number 1 is that there are different documents for every Korea working visa. Once you know what you want to do in South Korea, if you want to work as a lawyer, as a doctor, as a K-pop artist, a dancer, singer, you want to work in a factory company, you want to work in a construction company, you want to work in a, you know what you want to do in South Korea, right? Then what you have to understand now is the fact that each work visa have different documents. If you want to be an native English teacher, for instance, which you have to apply for the E7 work visas, right? The document that is required for the E7 work visa is different from someone that wants to work in a factory company, like the E9 work visa. The document that will be required for the E9 work visa is different. So that person document requirement for the Korean working visa for the E9 work visa is different from the person that is applying for the E7 work visa as a teacher. Do you understand? Number 2 is this. For the E9 work visa, that is what I'm talking about in this video. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the E7 work visa for professional field. So for the E9 visa, you have to know this. Before going to the Korean embassy in your country, you have to have the visa insurance certificate number, which should be approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea. The documents that is necessary from you as the employee and the employer, like the business registration certificate, the other certificate I just mentioned, or I will mention concerning the document required for the E9 work visa, or the document that is required from the employer and you the employee, all the document that you need that is required from you the employee and the employer have to be approved. If that document is not approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea, you can't go to the embassy to apply for a visa. So those documents have to be approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea before you can apply for a working visa in your country. For the E9 work visas, this is what is required from you if you're applying for the South Korean working visa, which is the E9 visa. I'm going to be talking about the E9 visa because that is what most people apply for. In the next video, as I said, I'm going to be talking about the E1 to E7 work visas for those that are into professional field. So for the E9 visa, this is what is required from you. The company that you will be working for have to sign an employment letter with the visa applicants. This means that you as the employee and the employer have to sign a contract which is known as the employment contract. The employment contract provided by the Ministry of Employment and Labor have to be signed by you, the employee, and the employer that employed you in the organization. Afterwards, all the documents that is necessary from both sides for the visa applicants have to be collected, reviewed, and approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea, not your home country. In this case, this means that all the documents you will use for the visa application have to be approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea, not your country, before you can apply for a Korean visa in your country at the embassy. So if the documents have been approved, you will receive a visa insurance certificate number, which you will use to apply for the Korean working visa. After receiving this visa insurance certificate number, then you can take all your documents to the Korean embassy, to the embassy of the Republic of South Korea to apply for a Korean visa. So when you get to the Korean embassy or the VFS Global or whichever consulate center that you apply for a Korean visa, then these are the documents that you have to go with. So guys, I'm taking my time to explain to you guys all the details that you have to go through if you're applying for the Korean working visa. And that is why I'm saying it over and over and over, saying same thing over and over and over in this video, so that you can understand what I'm trying to explain to you. So after you get the visa insurance certificate number, you will take the number, the certificate, and the employment letter and the employment contracts to the embassy which you'll be applying for your visa. So when you get to the embassy, these are the documents that you will need. Okay, you need the visa application form, you need the proof of flight tickets, you need the proof of accommodation, and you also need to submit your CV. If you're looking for a job in Nigeria or in your country, I know people used to submit CV, right? You have to present a CV and your CV have to be, outstanding. So you need to submit your CV. You need to submit the company certificate registration to show that that company is legal in South Korea, that the company is recognized. So the company should give you their certificate of registration, because without the certificate of registration, you can't apply for the Korean working visa in the embassy in your country. Okay, so after the company certificate registration, you then need, as I said, you need the evidence that shows that the company usually pay tax. So the company also have to send you their evidence that they have been paying tax regularly. You also need, what do you need again? You need okay, I'm trying not to skip any document that is necessary. You need description, I've said it, description of work tasks to show that this is what I will be doing in the organization. This is my work. This is my position in the organization. You need a document that shows the description of your work tasks. You need to have a document that that proves that this is what you're going to be doing. This is your job in South Korea in the organization. So you need that document, because it is a necessary document for the Korean visa application. So for the evidence of company tax payments, it is very, very necessary. If the company or the organization you will be working in South Korea does not have an evidence that have been paying tax to the Korean government, then I don't think you can apply for the Korean working visa, because this is a necessary document that you need if you want to work in South Korea, that you need if you want to apply for the South Korean working visa. It is really, really necessary. It's an additional document for the Korean visa requirements. You also need the company registration certificate. The company have to be registered. If it's not registered, it means it's not official. It is not legal. So the company needs to have a certificate that they are official, that they are legal company. You need to have a CV, because it is necessary documents that you will need if you want to apply for the Korean working visa. Make sure your CV is presentable. Make sure your CV is readable and it's unique. So you need a CV, you need an employment letter. In every organization, even in your home country, if you've been employed in a company, a registered company, yes, a legal company, the company gives you an employment letter, right? So in Korea, if you have been employed in a Korean company, they give you an employment letter. There is a difference between an employment letter and an employment contract. So you need an employment letter, quite alright, but you also need an employment contract. So the employment contract is provided by the Ministry of Employment and Labor. So that contract is being signed by you, the employee that was employed in that organization, and the employer that employed you in that organization. Do you understand? So after submitting your employment letter, which is one of the requirements, you also need an employment contract, which is also part of the requirements for the E9 work visa. Number 2 is all the documents that is necessary, that is required from the employer, like the business registration certificates, the evidence of payment, tax payments, that is required from the employer, the people that employ you in the organization, and those documents that is required from you, the employee. All those documents have to be collected and reviewed. Ministry of Justice. So when you submit it at the Ministry of Justice, they have to cross-check it, check that all the documents is accurate. They have to review it and make sure that they are real. Then, if those documents is approved by the Ministry of Justice in South Korea, then they will give you what they call visa insurance certificate number, which is very, very important, because without that visa insurance certificate number, you can't apply for a visa. Number 5, we have the evidence of the company tax payments. The organization that you'll be working in South Korea need to have evidence that they have been paying tax to the government. If not, I don't think you can apply for the working visa. You need to submit the evidence that the company have been paying tax regularly. So that you have to ask the company to give you evidence that they have been paying tax to the government. You also need an invitation letter provided by the employer. So the company needs to send you an invitation letter. Aside the company employment contract or the employment letter, you still need the invitation letter from the organization that you'll be working for in South Korea. because that is one of the requirements for the working visa application. So guys, these are all the documents. I think I'm skipping some documents, but if I'm not skipping any documents, I think this is all the documents that you need if you want to apply for the Korean working visa. So the next video I'm going to be talking about for the E7 work visa. This is for the E9 work visas. So for the E7 work visas, I'm going to be talking about the documents that are required. So guys, this is it for today's video. Thanks for watching.